Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we discussed about single point of failure, how a single point of failure can bring down your entire website. We also discussed about how web page test can help us simulate a single point of failure and block an entire domain and send the request to black hole. Sometimes single point of failure is such a dramatic scenario. The weakest link in the chain will pretty much bring down your entire website. A single point of failure might not always help us test UI resiliency. Take an example where a particular resource served from a given domain is the culprit, but not the entire domain. In that case, how could we test our scenario by blocking only that resource, but not the entire domain? So how can we measure the impact of a particular resource from the given domain? Web page test exposes the functionality to block requests based on a pattern matching. For example, you could instruct the test agent to prevent resource naming containing a specific substring. This could be JavaScript, ads, CSS, or anything else. There are two ways to block a specific request. A standard way is to use the block tab and provide the name or the keyword which you would like to block. The advanced way is to go with the scripting option and provide the details such as block and the keyword that you would like to block. So you might have a question, how is this any different from sending the request into the black hole? Most importantly, browser will not timeout on the request that was never made. So the page will not experience that long pause between requests. This test simply measures the omission of a resource without presuming anything about the reliability or the load time. So web page test just ignores that particular resource and gives you an experience without leveraging that particular resource. So let's try with an example. Let's select Airbnb and start the test. From these results, let's identify a JavaScript which we would like to block. In this case, let's understand this particular JavaScript. This particular JavaScript takes 1725 milliseconds. So in this case, we need to first of all identify the request that we are interested to block. So this is the actual request that we are interested to block. Copying the entire domain details would block everything that is served from this particular domain, which is not our requirement. And copying the entire name will also not work because the hash might change for the next subsequent runs. The best option here to do is pick up something which is constant. In this case, I will pick up the name of the JavaScript without the random hash. Let me go back to my web page test, select the same URL. In the block section, this is where I would like to specify what I'm interested in blocking, and then start the test run. Once the test is complete, you can clearly see that the resource which we are interested in blocking is explicitly mentioned here. All of the requests and responses will be normal, except this particular request will be blocked. You could see an experience of your web page with and without this particular request. To understand the details on how the UI performs with and without blocking that particular resource, let's go to history and let's pick the two runs. One run where we were blocking a resource, the another run where we are not blocking the resource. These details could be provided while we are creating the job in the label section. Once I select both the options, let me go and hit compare. The compare would specify when the resource is blocked, it renders quickly because it has one less resource to download, parse, eval if it's a JavaScript. But if the resource is not blocked, it will have some extra latency here. And if you scroll down, let's focus on JavaScript. The blue graph specifies the number of requests when we are blocking a particular resource, and the red graph specifies the number of requests when there is no blocks. We could clearly see there is a difference in the number of requests. We could also clearly see the number of bytes that are downloaded when you are blocking a particular resource. To wrap up, This is one of the most important features of web page test that could give us insights on understanding or isolating a performance bottleneck. If you come across scenarios where a particular JavaScript or a resource is adding up a lot of value, if you come across a situation where a particular resource is causing bottleneck and impacting the UI performance, this is the best way to block that resource, provide the before and after performance metrics, and based on the details, go ahead and take appropriate actions. Hope you like this video. Thank you.